Hello my friends and welcome back to Storytime here on Build-A-Bear Radio. I'm Victoria here with my friend Buddy Bear and we hope that you all had a very happy Thanksgiving. We're back with more of the 12 books of Storytime and we have some good books for you today. We're going to start with Elliott Kalan telling us all about his really fun book, Sharko and Hippo. Hello Elliot.
Hi, my name is Elliott Kalan, and I'd like to read you my new book, Sharko and Hippo. Sharko and Hippo is a very silly book that was inspired by my favorite movie comedians, the Marx Brothers. It's about those times when someone is trying to help, but they do it in a way that's really frustrating. We've all had times like that, I think. In case you want to read along with this, you can find a copy of Sharko and Hippo at your local bookstore, or you could buy it on the internet if you want, but local bookstores are great. I think you should get it there. And then, when you get it, you can see the very funny illustrations by Andrea Tsurumi. And now, I'll read it to you. Sharko and Hippo, written by Elliott Kalan, illustrated by Andrea Tsurumi. And we start with a beautiful autumn day as Sharko and Hippo, our heroes, drive down the road in a car. And Sharko says, "Hello, I'm Sharko and this is Hippo." And the car horn says, "Auga." Sharko says, "My name's Sharko because I'm a shark. And Hippo's called Hippo because Hippo is a hippo." You following this so far? Hippo and I are bestest friends. I do the talking and Hippo does the carrying. And we see Hippo has a long trench coat on, and inside he has a trombone that he is pulling out and lots of pockets full of things. And Sharko says, "Today we're going fishing, but first we need a boat. Hippo, launch the boat!" And Hippo throws a goat into the water. Sharko says, "No, that's not a boat, that's a goat." Hippo throws a big sack of oats in the water. And Sharko says, "That's not a boat, that's a bag of oats." Hippo throws a coat in the water, and Sharko says, "That was my coat." "Okay, tell you what," says Sharko. "Forget it. We'll fish from here. All I need is a pole. Hippo, hand me my pole." Hippo holds up a banana peel, and Sharko says, "That's not a pole, that's a peel." Hippo holds up a little sand bucket and a shovel, and Sharko says, "No, that's a pail." Hippo pulls out an enormous farm implement from his jacket, and Sharko says, "That's a plow. I need a pole. Just give me a pole." Hippo hands Sharko a pillow. Sharko kicks the pillow into the water, and he says, "Forget the pole. I can't use the pole unless I have the bait, so give me the bait." "That's not the bait, that's a boot and a beat." You guessed it. Hippo's holding up a boot that has a beat in it. Now Hippo's holding up a bathtub with a penguin in it, and Sharko says, "Hippo, that's a bath. How am I going to fit a bath on the hook of my pole that I also don't have?" Now Sharko says, "That's not the bait, that's the boat." Hippo is holding the boat. Sharko says, "Hold the phone. Why do you give me the boat now? Why don't you give me the boat when I ask for the boat? When I ask for the bait, I get the boat. When I ask for a boat, I get a coat. What if I asked for my coat?" "Right. You threw my coat. In the water." Hippo's pointing at the water. It's full of a lot of stuff by this point. Sharko says, "I apologize. I shouldn't lose my temper. Hippo, the bait is in a can. Give me the can." Hippo holds up some ice cream, and Sharko says, "That's not a can, that's a cone." Hippo holds up a clam. "That's a clam. That's a clown." Hippo's holding a little crocodile dressed like a clown that's squirting Sharko in the water. And Sharko says, "Clowns are not cans. Cans are not clowns." "This is the worst fishing trip ever. I want to go home. Just give me the keys to the car." "No, that's cheese from a star. That's bees on a guitar. That's a sneeze in a jar." "Why do you give me all these crazy things, Hippo? What kind of friend are you? You never give me the thing I need." Oh, and now Hippo gives Sharko a hug, and Sharko's surprised. And then he hugs Hippo back, and he's happy. "Okay, sometimes you'll give me the thing I need. Let's go do something else. We weren't going to catch any fish anyway." And Sharko walks off, and behind Hippo, the fish pop out of the water, and they say, "Thanks, Hippo." And Sharko and Hippo drive off into the sunset, and the fish stay, and they eat that ice cream cone that Hippo was trying to give to Sharko. And that's the story of Sharko and Hippo. The end. So that was Sharko and Hippo by me, Elliott Kalan, with illustrations by Andrea Tsurumi. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for sharing your crazy story, Elliot. I'm so glad that the one thing he does get right is a hug. That's something that Buddy Bear does really well too. Our next story is also about two great friends. Here to tell us about his book, Dan Unmasked, is Chris Negron. Hello, Chris.
Hey kids, my name is Chris Negron and I am the author of Dan Unmasked, a heartfelt middle grade novel about grief, creativity, and the healing power of friendship that shows not all heroes wear capes. Dan Unmasked is published by HarperCollins, so if you want to read along, you should be able to find it anywhere books are sold. I recommend supporting your local independent bookstore if you can, as those folks are the ones who are really focused in learning who you are as a reader and recommending books that fit what you enjoy but also challenge you to discover new genres and topics. Let me start by giving you a little summary of my book. Whether they're on the baseball field or in Nate's basement devouring the newest issue of their favorite comic book, Dan and Nate are always talking. Until they're not. After an accident at baseball practice, Nate's fallen into a coma. And if Dan ever wants to talk to Nate again, he's got to take a page out of his hero Captain Nexus's book and do whatever it takes to save the day. But superheroes in comic books like Captain Nexus have powers, and without Nate, all Dan has is a closet stuffed with comics and a best friend-shaped hole in his heart. There's no way a regular kid can save the day all on his own, right? Are you excited? Great, so am I. I'm going to give you a little preview of Dan Unmasked now by reading Chapter 1. Dan Unmasked by Chris Negron. Chapter 1. I almost miss it. I can't stop staring at the base runner in front of me, with his bright white cleats and his two big batting gloves. He's dancing off second base, clapping dust off those clown hands, shouting out nonsense, jumping from one foot to the other. All that fidgeting has drawn me in so deep, I almost miss it. My best friend Nate sending me a secret message from the pitching mound. See, me and Nate, we have this sort of superpower, a kind of telepathy, but just with each other. We're always talking, even when we're not. Like right now. From shortstop, I get ready for Nate's next pitch. He stares in hard at the catcher signs. The lefty at the plate gulps. Parents in the stands cheer. And Nate, he's not even looking my way, but he's talking to me all right. It's the way he's spinning the ball in his fingers. The way his glove, normally resting on his knee, dangles off his wrist. Nate's telling me he knows all about the kid darting between second and third like his toes are on fire. Nate starts his motion. He sneaks a peek back at me. My feet twist into the dirt. I run the sleeve of my Mirror Giants jersey across my nostrils. I know Mom must be wincing in the stands. She's been begging me to stop wiping snot on my sleeve since I was 5. But today, 8 years later, my nose is dry. I only did that to let Nate know I got his message loud and clear. When nobody else is looking, Nate and I have a secret signal. Proof our telepathy is working. We tap our noses with one finger. Right now, though, half of Mirror is here watching this game. Not to mention the fidgety kid's coach over at third. I can't be so obvious. Nose on sleeve it is. Mom can roll her eyes all she wants. Nate's as cool as ice. He doesn't nod. He doesn't smile. He doesn't even blink. My best friend looks back at the catcher. His shoulders relax. As soon as the kid leaps toward third again, I take off, straight for second base. Nate steps back off the rubber and whirls around. I catch a hint of panic in the runner's eyes as he realizes he's been caught leaning. His cleats kick up loose dirt. He stumbles. I twist my body and lower my glove. I reach the base just as the kid starts an off-balance slide. Nate's perfect throw smacks into my glove right in front of the bag, and all I have to do is squeeze it. The ump crouches down, peering at my glove. I raise it, proving the ball's in the pocket. I'm already jumping into Nate and heading for the dugout when the ump thrusts his closed fist into the air. Out! Somehow Nate's little brother, Ollie, beats us to the bench from way up in the bleachers at the end of each game, especially big wins like this one. He always looks the same. Goofy grin on his face, giant binocular-like glasses over his eyes, one arm pressing his prized sketchbook tight to his chest. As usual, his other hand is open and raised. None of us forgets, after reaching up to high-five Coach Wiggins, to bend down to tap Ollie's waiting palm, too. "Dude, where do you come from?" Jake McReynolds, our third baseman, asks. He uses both hands to mess up Ollie's hair. Nate's little brother frantically tries to put it back into place. "It's his superpower," catcher Kurt Martinez says. He unbuckles his chest protector, shakes it off, and stows it under the bench. Teleportation. This is a game we've been playing since I moved to Mira a few years back and joined the Giants. Since I discovered my new teammates were almost as crazy about comics as I am. One of us starts to describe superpowers, and the first one to yell out the matching hero wins. "But where's your brimstone?" "Nightcrawler," I shout, and Nate does too, but just after me. Frustrated, he chucks his glove against the fence. It's pretty hard to beat me in the name of the superhero game. I make a game show wrong answer buzzing sound. "So sorry, Templeton." "Too slow," Kurt and Jake say together. "You and your 1,000 comics," Nate complains. "I almost had you." "Hey, Dan, tomorrow's Wednesday. Captain Nexus comes out," Ollie shouts toward me. He reaches between the pages of his sketchbook, and I catch a glimpse of one of his drawings. The kicking leg of a pitcher, who else but his hero Nate, seems unrealistically high, but Ollie snaps the book shut before I spy any more details. He pulls out number 13, the one with Spark on the cover shooting lightning bolts toward the hollow. His issue's not even bagged. "What are you doing?" I ask. Ollie's eyes go wide. "What? You don't bring a comic to a dugout? There's dirt everywhere." I swear, Ollie's only a year younger than us, but sometimes he acts like he's still in elementary school. "Look," Sally, our first baseman and the biggest kid on the team, shouts as he points toward me. "Dan's eye is twitching. Have you started vacuum sealing your comics yet, Summers?" "Oh, there's an infectious disease lab at the CDC that's vacuum," Kurt starts. "Oh my God, Martinez," Sally breaks in. "Give it a rest." Kurt's a huge germaphobe. His constant Purell use and crazy trivia about diseases always bother Sally first. Nate raises his voice above everyone else. "Hey, Ollie's right. Number 14 tomorrow. Focus." He looks down at his brother and Ollie beams back at him. "All set for your group read?" "Mom got the pretzels," Ollie says, nodding. "Because you can't read a comic without pretzels," I say, then roll my eyes at Nate. Ollie's talking like I don't know tomorrow's a Captain Nexus Wednesday. We've all been on pins and needles for weeks now, wishing number 14 could somehow hit the shelves early. All Nate does, though, is shrug. It even takes him a second to tap his nose. I know it's because he doesn't like me picking on Ollie. Wish he would defend me like that when the other Giants mock me for taking care of my comics. Whatever, like it's a crime. And the truth is, Ollie's the one who told us about Captain Nexus in the first place. Even the group read was his idea. Nate always calls it Ollie's group read, like he doesn't want us to forget his brother invented it. Reading with half the team in Nate's basement is fun, sure, but sometimes I kind of wish Nate and I could just enjoy the new issues on our own. Coach finishes talking to some parents and swings down into the dugout. He claps his hands to get our attention. "Okay, Giants." He points toward the parking lot where most of our moms and dads are on the way to their cars. "You know the drill. Denunzios. We need to talk tournament." The Giants throw our gloves into the air and hoot. After we collect the rest of our equipment, we rush after our parents. There's no time to lose when pizza's waiting. Okay, thanks, guys. I really appreciated reading Dan Unmasked for you and this opportunity from Build-A-Bear Radio. And thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for telling us all about your book, Chris. I have a sneaky suspicion that the superpower that Dan and Nate are going to need is going to be their friendship. Buddy Bear and I know that we all need a good friend sometimes. That's all we have time for today, folks. So until you can join us next time here on Build-A-Bear Radio for the 12 books of Storytime, it's goodbye from me, Victoria, and goodbye from Buddy Bear.